Do you know when was the last time Manchester United won the Premier League? 3,939 days ago. And the Champions League? 5,763 days. But how does a world-class team go from being the best club in England by surpassing Liverpool to having no trophies for years? What is the reason for this long delay? To understand this, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. The answer is a horse. Yes, you heard it right. The horse that changed the entire history of Manchester United. Rock of Gibraltar, to be precise. But how a racehorse is connected to the downfall of a football club? To answer this question, we have to go back 24 years ago. It was the year 2001. Rock of Gibraltar was part-owned by Ferguson and Susan Magnier, who was the wife of then United shareholder John Magnier. The horse won 10 of his 12 starts and managed to amass winnings of almost $1.5 million and became the Horse of the Year in 2002. Magnier and McManus were part of the Coolmore racing conglomerate and, more importantly, shareholders at United. Ferguson, meanwhile, always had a passion for horse racing, one that he inherited from his father. Over the years, he developed a close relationship with Magnier, and back in 2001, the pair had a conversation that led Ferguson to believe he owned half of Rock of Gibraltar. However, when the horse retired from racing, Ferguson was of the impression he also owned some of the breeding rights to the iconic horse. It was at that point that the trouble began. In the months that followed, Magnier and Ferguson became embroiled in a bitter battle over the horse that ended up in the Irish High Court. The major problem for Manchester United was that the dispute wasn't just confined to the Irish legal system. It also reached Old Trafford. In 2004, Magnier and McManus submitted a list of the famous 99 questions to the board seeking information on the club's finances and transfer dealings. They even threatened to take action against United if they were not given satisfactory replies. Former club captain Roy Keane later revealed in his autobiography that somebody I met in Ireland had told me to tell Ferguson, "You are not going to win this." And I told him that I didn't think it was good for the club, for the manager in a legal dispute with shareholders. I felt I was entitled to say that. He was just a mascot for them, walking around with this Rock of Gibraltar. Look at me, how big I am. And he didn't even own the bloody thing. As the dispute rumbled on, Magnier and McManus increased their shares in United via their company Cubic Expression. All the while, Malcolm Glazer, owner of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers American football team, was monitoring the situation closely. The American had been quietly buying up shares, and when he made Magnier and McManus an offer for Cubic Expression's 28.7% stake in the club in May 2005, they promptly accepted. That deal effectively signaled the start of the Glazer regime. Within a month, he would acquire 98% of the club's shares before completing a takeover worth nearly $1 billion. In the end, the dispute over Rock of Gibraltar was settled out of court and a line was drawn under the matter. Both Ferguson and Magnier agreed that neither would ever publicly discuss the finer details of the legal case. However, the effects of their dispute are still being felt at Old Trafford today. Had Ferguson and Magnier not fallen out, Cubic Expression may not have ended up selling its shares in United to Glazer. The Glazers, with the ownership, began to meddle with the United board despite having no football knowledge. Appointed a banker as CEO of the club. The club did not have a director of football. The club lost the desired goal due to the mismanagement of incompetent people who have no connection with football, short-sighted thinking, unplanned spending of money, and buying of many players, from whom the club did not get the desired success. Thus, one of the most successful clubs in the world is now on its deathbed. As soon as the takeover was completed, some fans even refused to set foot in Old Trafford ever again. Their anger was rooted in the leveraged nature of the deal, which put United into debt for the first time since 1931. The club's latest financial results showed that the club's gross debt now stands at $671 million. However, the club has indeed proven a cash cow for the Glazers. Malcolm Glazer died in 2014, but his sons Joel and Avram now serve as co-chairman with the family, having received $253 million in dividends and loan repayments over the past 15 years. They would argue that they haven't just taken money out of the club, though, and point to the fact that nearly $1.1 billion has been spent in transfer fees on their watch. However, there have also been accusations levelled against the Glazers that they have neglected the Old Trafford Stadium. The expansion of the quadrants in the North Stand had been agreed before their arrival, while there is a belief that United's historic home now pales in comparison to the other Premier League clubs. However, the Glazers have cost the club $1.9 billion in debt, interest and other outgoings since 2005, and that's a figure that many fans are unlikely to forgive or forget. On October 23, 2022, the legendary horse Rock of Gibraltar died. Sir Alex Ferguson retired in 2013. Although Sir Alex, the horse Gibraltar, and former shareholder John Magnier are no longer at United, but the Red Devils are still suffering from the incident. When will United be seen again as the best, taking possession of the Premier League, dethroning Liverpool and City, and returning to the Premier League rule? And if you want to know how Lamine Yamal became Barcelona's youngest prodigy, click the video on the screen.